Unbelievable. We're all just focused on this one thing. But shouldn't we be concentrating on what's most important? Hey, welcome to Crypto Owl. Yes, here I am again, shirt all neat and ready to go, the Kaspa shirt. And we have exciting news because the price drop, I honestly don't even know why it happened like that. I have my own little explanation for that, which we'll take a look at. And of course, we'll also see what's happening right now and what we can look forward to in the coming days and weeks. So let's dive into a Kaspa video and of course start with the market update. The market update around Kaspa. Yes, we can see it. The price drop, or rather the price decline, was especially extreme here, particularly on Saturday. This sell-off that we saw here, let's make it bigger so we can see it better. A lot of people said, what does that mean? Or rather, what should we expect and what happened here? Because ultimately, it was to be expected that such a drastic price drop would eventually lead to the price rising again, since many people would start buying in again. And that's exactly what happened. And my own theory on this topic is that a lot of people maybe didn't look closely enough, but just saw these screenshots and thought, oh, Wallet 2, that wasn't Binance at all, it was actually Bybit. But you really have to pay close attention here. Specifically, this previously mysterious Wallet 2, which by the way has bought again, has now slipped to third place, and the wallet in second place, that's the Bybit wallet, which was even temporarily in fourth place before. We can take a look at a screenshot to compare everything. This is what it looks like. This is an older screenshot. It's already, I think, over a week old, and this one is current. And we can clearly see, if we compare the wallet addresses, that in second place, CT3G, that's the one that was previously in fourth place and is still labeled as the Bybit wallet as before. And the one that was previously in second place with N4UK, we now find in third place. So white is the older screenshot, black or dark is the newer screenshot. Yes, and the other one that was previously in third place has of course now slipped down to fourth place. So there's been a bit of movement among the wallets and all of them have mainly added more. That means while the price has dropped, let's take a look at this wallet here, for example the Bybit wallet, it has increased quite a bit, even though it sold off a little today. Or rather, it doesn't necessarily mean that the wallet itself sold off, but rather that traders or dealers on the exchange simply withdrew cash and it left the hot wallet. In contrast, the previous mysterious Wallet 2, which is now Wallet 3, already increased significantly on September 6th, that is on Saturday, and it's quite funny. Look, 11 o'clock. If I look at this here, when exactly was the price drop, or rather the drop? They bought up everything here. They bought during this period here on the hourly chart. Let's go there. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock. They bought it up here. This wallet bought it up, at least if you trace the transaction. Of course, it's possible that it arrived in this wallet a bit later, but it bought up this price drop. I'm always thinking in English, price drop. It bought up this price drop. And then there was another transaction which took place here on the 8th this morning at 7 o'clock. Let's take a look. Is there anything there? There were these small... Here in this movement there was also buying, but it could also be that the purchase happened during this upward movement and then the market makers sold a bit. So we can definitely see that we're all currently watching this mysterious Wallet 2 and everyone is asking, what is it doing? Who is it? And then, of course, the big question is it really what many suspect, namely Binance? No, it's not Binance. The mysterious wallet belongs to Bybit Official, says Kaspa Network. I have to say that's been disproven because, as I just showed, this mysterious Wallet 2 is now in third place where it was before. It's here now, and the Bybit wallet has moved up from fourth place to second. That's why, unfortunately, this tweet is pretty much wrong. So, that's a shame. Then we saw that there were sell-offs, but at the same time, there were also purchases by the big wallets. We can see that here. This was a screenshot taken pretty much at or right after the time of the sale when the price then dropped. That also makes sense. Somewhere, money first has to be deposited here and then sold. In any case, in this comparison, we can see that the mysterious Wallet 2 is now Wallet 3. It's absolutely crazy. So now everyone is looking at Wallet 3. If you now say, I want to buy Kaspa, then check out the exchanges. Bybit EU is fully regulated, but it has a problem, at least for us as the Kaspa community, because KAS isn't listed there yet. They are listed on bybit.com, but you have to transfer your account over soon or it will be done automatically. For me, the best way to buy KAS right now is BitGet. BitGet has a lot of cryptocurrencies listed. In our exchange comparison, there are actually 750 in total with low trading fees, which are really very cheap. EU regulation is in progress, meaning the MyKA license, they should be getting it soon. And there are fewer negative points, plus a 1% cashback card even through the BitGet wallet. There's even 5%, they have an article about it, and you can easily buy Kaspa Spot there and of course also withdraw. Here we can see the entire chart history. So check out Bitget, and with the link in the video description, there's an extra bonus. And of course, you can compare all our exchanges again in our exchange comparison here. You'll find everything there. There are all kinds of options. All I can say is with OKX, I'm always trying, but it's really hard to get something listed there, but I haven't given up hope. KAS will come to OKX. If you don't have an account yet, you'll find it there too, even with 10% cashback. So check out the exchange comparison. Yes, and exchanges are still an interesting topic. In the beginning, I used to promote MEXC a lot. There you can easily buy Kaspa. It was also mainly the first exchange to list Kaspa, but these days I'm much more reserved about it. I think you've probably noticed that I no longer mix KAS and MEX together or mention them in the same video simply because of everything that's happened with those sell-offs and very likely market manipulations. We don't have 100% proof, but it's always very, very interesting to see what's happening on that wallet at MEXC whenever the price starts to drop. Yeah, and there have been some changes, but I was still shocked by what I just saw. So if we go to CoinMarketCap, Kaspa is still in the top 50. Wow. And I think that's very important also for morale. And here we can see, if we look at all the exchanges, that Bybit isn't even the main exchange where it's currently being transferred. It's actually Gate. Right now, a lot is really happening through Gate, although I'm not a fan of Gate at all. They were even removed from our exchange comparison because they simply don't have a proper spot purchase with market orders. They only have limit orders, and a lot of people can't handle limit orders. I can understand that too. If you haven't done it often or have no idea about it, it can be pretty difficult, yeah. And Maxi is back in second place. What's going on there? That used to be different recently. Maybe you've been following it a bit as well. There were a lot of screenshots, a lot of statements saying, hey, withdraw your cash from Maxi so they can't manipulate the price anymore. And that's actually what happened. But now, right after this price drop, or rather price decline, I'm slipping into English again. It's the case that Maxi has managed to build up quite a bit of trading volume here again. But my observation lately was actually that Gate was in second place, Bybit in first, Bitget in third, and Maxi even dropped to fifth place at times because Qcoin and also at times BingX, which we also have in our exchange comparison, managed to gain a bit more. But we know that changes every day. And we can also see by now that Kaspa is listed on so many exchanges. New ones keep getting added, and sometimes I even think, what kind of exchange is this again? But at the end of the day, it's all positive. It keeps attracting new people who can then easily buy KAS, and of course that also helps drive the price up. Here's something interesting. The KAS accumulation? Congratulations to the buyers and to the sellers. You got played. That's also pretty funny. We can add that in here as well, exactly. There you go. That's how it is. When it comes to volume, I'm always surprised that so much is still going through Maxi after all these calls, but that's just how it is. Then, of course, we saw, and I didn't make a video about it, I just posted a little bit about it, that we were all waiting on August 31st for the Kaspa smart contracts. They were supposed to be released, at least that was the plan, but that didn't happen. Kaspa said it still needs a bit of fine-tuning. We're actually at the point where we could release it, but we want to release it properly so that it works right from the start. And that's why you can use everything on the testnet, but the final version on the mainnet isn't available yet. But this topic is going to be a very important one, and we can see that here as well. If we take a look at various tweets here, just live network, so in the testnet, they just did some testing. What if I were to transfer some Ethereum, so via the Ethereum Sepolia testnet, which is Sepolia, that's the official testnet from Ethereum, just transfer some amount of cryptocurrency there to Kasplex, which is Kaspa's dedicated layer 2 solution, meaning the smart contracts that then run securely and efficiently on Kaspa's layer 2 platform. Here, they simply use the same amount of gas, or more precisely, perform the same transaction with gas used being 158,465, so exactly the same. Then the gas price, gwei, you know it, that display indicator showing how high it is. So for Kaspa, it was already quite high in this case. And for this transaction, you paid $16.96 on the Ethereum testnet, not even on the mainnet. On the testnet, it's already that expensive. And on the Kasplex Layer 2 testnet, it was just 1 cent. So in comparison, you saved 99.59% with Kasplex's Layer 2. And on top of that, the time is also less than half as long when it comes to development time. So we can see that's actually not bad at all. And this is what it all looks like, just to understand it. The Layer 1, Kaspa, works flawlessly, and Layer 2, Kasplex, interacts with it. With KIC20 tokens, CK EVM, and that's why it was important to show this again, because EVM with CK will be available and a new virtual machine. We're really excited to see what else is coming our way. And this whole topic of Kaspa transactions and Layer 2 is, of course, especially interesting when you look at it in comparison. The transaction volume, if you compare them, as well as the speed and the possibilities available, then we can clearly see that even Visa and MasterCard have now declined significantly. That's no secret. But we can see that Kaspa could completely fill this volume. So you could completely take over Visa, you could even take over both MasterCard and PayPal together if you compare the bars side by side. So it's very exciting what's coming our way, and I'm really hyped. Because if you just take a look, especially during peak times, if you just see what happens when a lot of transactions actually come in, then the live transaction, or rather the live blockchain, looks like this. And here they just did a stress test and said, come on, let's give it 0.3K, let's send it, blah, blah, blah. And that's exactly what happened. A lot of people were called to participate in the test. Here at one point it was 626. But we can see here that there's potentially a lot of transaction volume. And of course, that's what a lot of people are extremely interested in. When people then say, look, the KAS Layer 2 or the Kasplex Layer 2, it's here now. We can do EVM transactions here via the KAS Layer 2, ZK EVM in this case. And then things can get started because there are a few tokens waiting and they're all here. If you just think about how many KRC20 tokens there are by now, and all of them want to be transferred over this Layer 2, which will work even faster and more securely in the near future. By the way, Bitgate has also listed a lot of Layer 2 tokens, or rather many of these tokens, for anyone interested in buying them. No matter if it's KLC20, ZK EVM, or new EVMs that are being added, Kaspex Layer 2 will definitely enrich Kaspa's blockchain and will lead to more transactions and more utility coming to Kaspa's blockchain. If you want to learn more about Kaspa, then check this out. Win a ticket for the Kaspa experience in Berlin. I will definitely be there. So you have the opportunity to simply get started with this on X by just following the 3 sponsors, or rather the organizer, the sponsor, and me, so that you're in the loop to take part in this giveaway. And you can win 2 tickets. The whole thing will be drawn on 9/11 at 10 p.m. That's 22 or even 23 is our time. You can just check to see if you've won. I will contact the winners. The only thing I need from you is your name and your email address, and then we can put you on the first list for this event. I say we because I'm going there, definitely. I'll be there too. I'm really looking forward to it. And if you're interested, you can just check here to see how it all works. Just a quick note. Last time I made a small mistake, namely when you buy a ticket, if I remember correctly, where was it? $75 in Kaspa. Where was it again? So, everyone who comes to this event gets those $75 in Kaspa. I should double check that myself. Where do you get 75 KAS? So $75 in KAS is given as cashback. You'll get access to a wallet for that. You'll get wallet access from the partner, the KAS Wallet. A wallet you download and then you receive $75 in KAS. So that's also very interesting. The ticket costs $150. That's a lot. But let's be honest, you're getting quite a lot in return here. There are several booths there, and everything you can buy or do at this small exclusive event, whether it's drinks, food, or anything offered at the booths, you can purchase. You can simply pay with KAS, and you already have $75 in KAS. That means your ticket already includes some goodies, or rather food and drinks, because you can pay for all of that this way. At least that's how I understood it. And the Kaspa experience in Berlin will take place with 500 participants on September 13th. So this Saturday, dear friends, this Saturday in Berlin, there are only a few tickets left. About 100 are still available. So feel free to check it out if you want to take part. One of the sponsors is Tangem, and I don't even need to explain Tangem to you anymore. I just want to remind you again, there is this beautiful wallet, namely the Kaspa wallet. This is what it looks like from the front, and you can still purchase it. There are still some available, and with the code CryptoYule, you get a 10% discount. You know how it all works. So just use the code CryptoYule and you're in, and you'll pay $62.91 for this wallet. Starting from 3 wallets in this beautiful green KAS design. I'm really happy about that. It even matches my t-shirt, doesn't it? And since we're already on the topic of hardware wallets, maybe you heard about it. There was actually a problem. I'm not even sure if it was uncovered. I couldn't find anything more about it being uncovered, or that they commented on it themselves. There was a small problem with OneKey. OneKey is also one of the early Kaspa integrations or partners. I'm pretty sure we've already made a video about that. Where is the wallet? There are so many wallets lying around here, Kaspa and OneKey. That's where the integration happened and this beautiful wallet came from. I even spoke with OneKey at the conference and they said, we definitely don't have any of those left. Well, and there was a problem. Specifically, the blind sign. That was a big problem here. That means transactions like KLC20 and so on. That just doesn't work. And the comment below was, we want this to be fixed. And someone wrote, why don't you use Tangem? Yeah. And then he says, I want to have my own seed and so on. I'm surprised myself, because yes, by now you can actually have your own seed. But yes, OneKey also has a few advantages compared to Tangem, not as many blockchains. In any case, of course, there are different wallet providers, and it was a bit unfair that this blind signing doesn't work here. That needs to be fixed. I'm really curious. Maybe someone has updates about this in the comments. I haven't read anything saying that this has been fixed here. At least neither OneKey has commented, nor has this tweet disappeared, or rather, there is a reply underneath saying is fixed it. Very strange, but worth mentioning. Let's take another quick look at these major wallets. And when the smart contracts arrive here, of course, there are already the wildest rumors going around again. So we only have one Aquaman with the Maxi wallet, and let's take a closer look at these three wallets because the rumors here are, of course, very, very interesting. Many people are saying that if it really is Binance, OKX, or whoever, then KLC20 tokens could also come relatively quickly. Let's compare the wallets, let's dive in and first take a look at the Bybit wallet. Bybit, as we've seen, bought the KAS with this wallet address. But this here is also very interesting. Namely, how many tokens are they holding? A lot of people are also looking at how many tokens are being held here and what the exact number is. Often, if there's 1 or 1,000 here, so an even number like here with 10, then you can assume that these were sent to this wallet. But here, for example, with 88,888, there are already people who think it might have been sent. And here as well, with 222,222, 111, and so on. So you see people are also paying attention to things like this. And this wallet from Bybit currently holds 37 tokens, so a few. But look here, Maxi, they already hold 62 tokens. And here too, the numbers are a bit different in some cases, but by and large, it's very likely that all of them were sent there. Because a lot of people are watching and see, oh look, here's the token, it's in the Maxi wallet. Maybe there will be a listing soon, and of course that draws some attention because not everyone is looking at this. But what's very interesting here is this wallet, now number 3, previously number 2. Because this one here also has all these tokens, and it has the most of all, 68. For comparison, MEXC has 62, Bybit 37. And this wallet number 3, now 3, previously 2, also holds, for example, a very small amount of Nacho and Kango. And of course, people immediately ask, why does it hold such a strange amount of Nacho tokens or Kango tokens? Is it actually an exchange that just hasn't been labeled yet? So people really pay attention to a lot of little details. Just as a tip, if you want to follow what's going on here yourself, these wallets are really interesting to watch. Whether it's the big ones on this list or the small ones, because as you can see, the pages are very, very long. You can just take a look, for example, what's happening in the Bitget wallet. They also have 31 tokens. The numbers are a bit different there as well. Although the KRC20 wallets, they're not necessarily the same ones where they keep the cash. And as we can see with Bitget, there's always a lot going on there anyway. That's why I recommended them to you, because there's always movement, and it's not necessarily about price manipulation, it's just buying and then sending out of the hot wallet again. In other words, people bought here for a certain price. For example, here someone bought KAS for $379, then sent these KAS out, and quite simply, they're gone from here. So this is the hot wallet from Bybit. Just so you've seen it once, this is also what is listed under watched for most wallets. Yes, and at the end of the video, there's really only one thing left for me to say, or actually 2 things. The first thing is we've really always been watching this wallet number 2. Now Bybit has overtaken it. Is it really Binance now? That's of course what many people are hoping for. Maybe it's others like Coinbase, OKX, or even completely different ones. So there's still the possibility that a few exchanges that are missing here that aren't included, maybe even FTX. No, just kidding. But we've gotten another hint, and I'm always surprised by what actually happens here. In fact, Binance themselves posted this, or rather through Binance, you can convert Kaspa to euro. Yeah, at first I thought it was fake, but a lot of people told me, no, it's true. I'm not really a Binance user myself. That's simply because don't follow the market leader. I've always made that my little motto. So, that's the market leader, Binance, so I don't have to trade there. And here it's possible to convert them to euros. So isn't that strange, or is that a fake screenshot? If anyone here uses Binance, let us know in the comments. I find this topic really interesting. Yeah, and of course that brings hope again. Is it Binance? Is it wallet number 2, which is now in 3rd place? But if it really is Binance, believe me, they won't just let that slide. I'm very curious to see how things will develop with this mysterious wallet. Don't forget about the ticket giveaway. Also, remember, maybe register on Bitget for a little cashback. It would support us as well. And finally, I have one more thing. You all know this from the Bitcoiners. They all say Bitcoin fixes it. Yeah, maybe you've heard there's actually a new stamp now, and this stamp says Kaspa fix it. Kasper.org. And I think it's really cool that people create things like this. I mean, nowadays with ChatGPT and graphic creation, AI and so on, everything is a bit easier, of course, but Kaspa fixed this. I'm really curious to see how often this will be used because I think people actually won't use it that much. It doesn't have many views either. The tweet has 1400, but I thought it was quite interesting to mention it here briefly. With that said, if you have any further questions, feel free to use the comment section. Remember the Kaspa German Telegram group. There's a dedicated German Telegram group. Remember our Telegram group and everything else that's available. You'll find the links in the video description. You know how it all works. With that, I want to say thank you very much for watching and see you in the next video.